Hello, I'm Andrew Wasson from CreativeGuitarStudio.com. Today we're talking all about how to get everything in order when it comes to your first guitar lesson. But this not only includes things like how to hold the guitar and the pick, or how to strum the strings, or the string names, or even what the first chords are for you to learn. Now, of course, all those things are important when it comes to any beginner's first lesson, but we also need to think about how to practice and how to develop the discipline that will eventually make you into an excellent guitar player. After this, join me for the second half of this lesson over on my Patreon page, where I want to cover 2 excellent guitar technique drills for beginners and intermediate students. Plus, I have a special philosophy lesson for you there on a topic that I'm calling the golden rule of playing guitar. But first, before we get started, a quick word about my Handouts Collection ebook offer. Do you want an amazing guitar book that's perfect for any guitarist at any level? Well, here's how to get yourself a copy of the Creative Guitar Studio Handouts Collection ebook. It's easy to do with any donation of $5 or more made on the CreativeGuitarStudio.com website. You'll instantly receive a copy of this 100-page guitar lesson ebook. It's jam-packed full of chords, scales, arpeggios, music theory, and technique drills. Join the thousands of guitar players who've already received their copy of this amazing lesson book. Just head to CreativeGuitarStudio.com/donations to donate and download your copy today. One of the first things we need to consider is your sitting position. You need to be relaxed, comfortable, and feel like the guitar is balanced sitting in your lap. So take the time to find the right guitar for you, even if you have to hit like 20 music stores. Go online, do some research, do some shopping. I personally always have liked Stratocasters. A lot of people like the Telecaster, other people like the Les Paul style, the Gibsons, whatever it may be, Ibanez, ESP. There's a guitar out there that's going to fit you like a glove. And you got to find that guitar, because the comfort of it sitting in your lap is really important. You're going to be sitting with that guitar for hours and hours, for months and years, until you get your chops up and you sound good. So get the right guitar, make sure it's comfortable in your lap. Take the time also to find a guitar strap as well. It's going to help you hold the guitar whether you're standing or when you're sitting. And also, pay attention to your strum hand, of where it's at with the elbow, the forearm, and how it's over the top of the body here. Make sure you get into a comfortable position so that guitar pick is right over the central area, the string sets. On a Stratocaster, it's usually between those first 2 pickups, and on a Les Paul, it's going to be right in between the 2 humbuckers there. So the fret hand is another consideration. You want to have it at an angle with your wrist curved slightly to produce that arch, so that the fret hand fingers are right over top of the strings and they're arched up, so you can play notes with the tips of each finger. It's really important. Now, to get you started, I want to help you by playing through a few simple first position scale ideas. Then I'm going to show you some easy chords, and I'm going to teach you how to put them together in a simple progression. One of the easiest things to do when you first start out with a guitar in your hands is just to start getting used to playing simple note patterns. And I've got one of the easiest things that you can really do right here next, and it's just playing a C major scale. We're going to be doing it in the open position, and it's going to be laid out like this. You can keep things really simple with your picking hand by just playing everything with down strokes and just going down, 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 down. Notice all those notes that start off the scale, they're all on the second string there, played on the first fret, third, first fret, open string. And then we move over to the third string and we just have two notes there. It's an A note on second fret and then the open third string G. Then we move over just to a couple of notes here played on the fourth string, third fret, second fret, come back again. And then move your way upward to third string, open, second fret, and then open second string, and the final note at first fret, second string. It's a C there. If you want to get more detailed, you can start calling out the note names. That's helpful for you too, because it'll help get you acquainted with the note names on the neck. You can go C, D, C, B, A, G, F, E, F, G, A, B, C. So very simple stuff, just track notes. You want to get your left and right hand coordination well balanced so that when you go to pick, the other note is there. Another thing to keep in mind too when you first get into the guitar, make sure you're playing with your fingertips as close to the upcoming fret wire as possible. And you have to start gauging for how much pressure of your finger toward the string that you're going to be using. Also, another big factor here is use the tip of your finger, that real bony part of your finger. That should be what's being used to play the note up as close to the upcoming fret as possible. All right, so that's going to help you get started. But another thing too is when you play around the first fret, a lot of times, especially on an acoustic guitar, it can be kind of tough to press the strings down. If you're finding that's the case, we can go up to the fifth fret position on the guitar. That's where your fifth fret idea is away from the open string. So open 1, and then 2, 3, 4, 5. And then at that second marker dot, most guitars have marker dot as your second marker dot there. And that is going to be starting with our C major scale on the fifth fret of that third string. So this is going to be a C major scale once again, but now we're going to be playing up here in the fifth position. So here's the notes just to kind of get things started. Tell there I have a drop down into the fourth fret on that third string, and then we're jumping forward to get the 7 and the 5. So those movements where you're jumping back and forth sometimes on guitar, sometimes those can be kind of tough just to keep your tracking straight, but go slow. And again, sometimes one of the best things you can do is just call out the note name as you play it. C, D, E, F, G. Sometimes using the fourth finger too, the smallest finger on your hand, that can sometimes be a challenge. So just take your time with that. Again, use the tip of the finger up as close as you can get to that upcoming fret wire. That's always going to give you the best sound. A up on top here, G, F, E, D, C. The drop down note into the fourth fret is a B note. And then on the fourth string, 7th and 5th frets, we've got A, G, A, back to the B, and then the C note again to finish. It's really important also to learn how to read tab. That's the guitar, notation system that we have that has the strings laid out from the bass to the treble, and then the numbers are representing the fret that you're going to be playing the note on. So get used to reading tab. It's very beneficial for you. There's some great programs out there. There's an old one for Windows called PowerTab. It's really helpful. Still works on all the latest Windows versions. And then there's also Guitar Pro. Maybe if you have a Mac, you might want that one. Really nice program, really detailed use of tab and music notation there. So get used to using tab and get used to reading it. With the playing aspects, go through the things that I just discussed with you. It's really helpful. Let's take a look at next at some basic chords. I want to start off with 3 chords with you that are really basic on guitar. First, an easy version of an E minor chord. Now this one's made easier because I just have one fretted note in this chord. That's it. It's an E note here on the 4th string at the 2nd fret. The other strings are open. You have to really arch that knuckle with that middle finger that you're playing the bass note with, because that's going to be really helpful. I didn't really give you a finger orientation to use on that note. You could use middle finger, you could use the 3rd finger, ring finger. It's up to you, because when you expand that chord, you're going to be using 2 notes now off of the 5th string and 4th string. And for that version, we're using middle finger and third finger. So middle and ring fingers for that large all 6-string version of the E minor. So if E minor, the all 6-string version is really tough, just do that smaller upper 4-string version. I would probably play that initially if you wanted to there with middle finger. But then on the full version, all 6 strings, you'd have to go middle and then ring finger. All right, let's check out the next chord. It's going to be an A minor. It's really straightforward because it's the same fingerings, brought down though to the 4th and 3rd strings, but the other note that we add in is going to be right here, 1st fret of the 2nd string. And also if you can arch all the fingers up really high, you're also going to want to hear the 1st guitar string open as well. So we've got open 5th string and open 1st string as well. Really nice chord. It's in the same key as E minor, so they fit together really nice. I'm going to give you one more easy chord though that's going to fit in that key, and it's going to be the D major. Now in this chord, we're using our 1st, 3rd, and 2nd fingers across the 3rd string, 2nd fret, A note, and then we're going to bring in this D note here on the 3rd fret, 2nd string. Up top, we're going to have 2nd fret, F sharp on the 1st string with that middle finger. We're also including an open D, 4th string open, and that gives us our top 4 guitar strings for the D major chord. Now, once these are together as best as you can get them, it's going to take some practice to get clarity. Note clarity is everything in chords, but for the fret hand, it takes time. To get it up to speed with some chord changes, though, I'm going to give you an exercise of chord movements. We're going to be going from an E minor over to an A minor, and then into a D major, back to that E minor once again. So you don't need any kind of fancy strumming. I would just recommend down strums. Couple strums on that, E minor, move into the A minor next, maybe 3 strums, and then D, and then back to the E minor. So just give whatever kind of strumming approach that you'd like. Try to be very light but yet in time, and be relaxed when you're doing your strumming. You know, try not to tense up or anything. Be as relaxed as you possibly can, and that's really going to help you out not only on that strum hand, but the more at ease you are and in check with everything that needs to be done, the better that you're going to sound. I think that out of anything, when you're trying to perform lines, licks, guitar solos, chord progressions, rhythm guitar, all that, it just depends on how well practiced you are and how much you've gotten the information into kind of more of that unconscious processing part of your brain, so that you can just do it and you don't have to think or be using any of your conscious mind to execute the ideas. It's a huge help once you get it to that level, but I will tell you, it takes practice and it takes time. And I've got a couple of tips coming up next for you that are really going to help you in that department as well. Now, this beginner's outline that I just completed here with you forms a small group of the very first steps when it comes to playing guitar. I do have a complete introductory guitar program over on my website at creativeguitarstudio.com. It's very chapter by chapter, step by step. It contains a lot of information to really get that solid foundation together on guitar, and it progresses nicely onto an intermediate program as well as an advanced guitar program too. But your sitting position, your hand-body position, all that stuff along with your notes and your chords, that is just the beginning, because how you practice and the discipline that you can develop will be the true determiner of how good you get at playing. So I'm going to leave you with a list of 12 important practice rules for becoming a highly disciplined student of the guitar. All right, so let's get into this list. Number 1. Remember to have a balanced practice approach. This is so important. I mean, you want to be able to go through material, of course, and hit as much of it during the day as possible, but make sure that you're doing just as much theoretical work like guitar theory, music theory, all that stuff, as you are with more, improvisation and songwriting and some of that creative work. If you balance the music theory with the creative side and do both as a balanced approach every day, it's going to make a big difference in your playing. All right, number 2, spend enough time to ingrain information. I can't stress this enough. You know, so many people, they get into something, they develop it a little bit, and they're kind of like, good enough. You know, you don't be that kind of player. Work on information till it really feels natural, till it's really well ingrained, and that is the way that you're going to become excellent at guitar. Now, number 3 is experimenting is going to be your way of finding out what works for you. And you have to try different styles. You have to try rock, and you have to try some soul R&B music, and try some reggae, and try some Latin music, try some acoustic guitar, electric guitar, use some distortion, play some blues, go all over the place. And what's going to eventually happen is you're going to find out that there's certain areas in all those different styles that you're really good at, and then there's other areas in different styles that maybe you're not so great at. Nobody's like an absolute master of absolutely everything. All players find their niche element that is really good for them, and they can stick with it and become great guitar players in their own direction for it. All right, number 4, start with an easily attainable goal of what you want to have as a starting point, and then expand from there. So you can say, all right, well, in this week, I want to attain all these different things, and then see where you're at within that week. Maybe at the end of the week, you want to revise some of those goals. Maybe it's too short as a span to go a week. Maybe you need to go 4 weeks, or maybe you need to go 2 months. But you'll want to set up some attainable goals for a certain amount of time, and then get to that end of that time point, and then expand from there if you need to. Maybe you won't need to. Maybe you'll have enough chops with some certain elements where you can just kind of move on to new information. But you have to have this attainable area that you're shooting for all the time, and that's how you really expand as a player and get good. All right, number 5, keep a practice log. And I really recommend that your practice log should be a book that you write in, like pencil to paper. I would stay away from digital formats like tablets and notebooks and laptops and, you know, your PC. Get a piece of paper, write a couple things down, and just write notes to yourself about how you're doing and the practicing that you want to do in that week. And keep it around a week's time, and have your format of a week be like 5 to 7 days. I think, you know, going and pushing yourself really hard for 7 days might not be the best approach. I'd say really push hard for about 5 days or so. Have a couple days off, or just a couple days where you just practice for fun and play for fun. All right, number 6, split your practice time, morning and evening, if you can. I know like that's not available for everybody, but if you can, practice a little bit in the morning and then practice a little bit again in the evening. It makes a big difference to hit the guitar 2 times in one day like that. Also, number 7, try and play at the same time every day. That could be a difficult thing for some people as well, but you know what? If you can map out a certain time, maybe it's 8 o'clock in the morning and 8 o'clock at night, but have those time frames be fairly well set. If you're off by an hour or something, whatever, you know, that's fine, but try to keep that going on. It's a big factor in getting really good at guitar. All right, number 8, practice when you know you won't be disturbed. Have your time frame at a point in which in the day where you know you got some time to yourself and it's quiet and you can focus and really get into what you're doing. And this is especially true when you get into the world of songwriting and you're doing really creative work, because you need your mind really at peace and being able to focus well. All right, number 9, let your gut instincts guide you. And that's a really big and important one for finding your own style, but it's also really important for how you're doing as you progress daily on guitar. If you find that you're really weak at something, be honest with yourself and go and practice that stuff harder than the material that you're better at, because you want to balance out that practice time and you want to be feeling inside that I'm putting my efforts to the right place at all times. All right, number 10, make practice a sacred time. You can think about everything else and all your worries when you're done practicing. They're still going to be there. But keep in mind that if your practice is special to you, it's a sacred time, it's a time that you develop your skills on guitar, it's going to have you thinking about everything that you're doing during that time frame, so that you really get a lot better at the information that you want to attain skill at. Number 11, be cool with how you're doing. Just be, at peace with yourself. It takes time to develop good methods on this instrument. And once you do, you'll find that the methods evolve as your playing changes. You're not going to play the same and go at the same styles and the same types of guitar pieces and all that, for all time. It's going to be changing and evolving, and be cool with yourself with things maybe that you're not good at, maybe you decide to drop, and the other things that you do well at, celebrate them. It's really cool that you can play that style or whatever it is really well. So, be cool with yourself, be at peace with yourself, don't get angry, and try and stay away from judging yourself and getting mad at, maybe you can't play something the way you would hope to have it played. It's, you're only human. You're going to be good at some things and you're going to be not so good at other things. And so you got to, put the spotlight on your skills that are the best for you. All right, finally, number 12, do not overinvest more practice time studying any of the stuff that you can already do. Work on what you can't play and focus on improving what you are not very good at. So, putting a lot of time into something that you can already do well is sort of like wasting that practice time. You always want to be going through material against your practice log and finding out where your weaknesses are, and then try to exploit that weakness. Do things so that it makes you become better in those departments, and then once you get good at them, move on to new areas and new departments that you can build your skills at as well. So anyway, guys, that's my list of 12 things that I think are a fantastic philosophy for you getting as good as you could possibly be at playing guitar. If you're signed up as one of my $15 a month Patreon members, you'll get to watch a bonus video for the second half of this lesson. And in the bonus part 2 video, I have 2 excellent guitar technique drills on scale sequencing that are perfect for both beginner and intermediate students. Also, I have a special philosophy lesson for you on a topic that I'm calling the golden rule of playing guitar. You are going to want to check that out. It's going to be awesome. Plus, as a Patreon member, along with that bonus video, you'll get a jam track, and you'll also get to download a detailed PDF handout that shows you all the examples in both music notation and in tab. Plus, it also includes a number of additional tips and explanations that you don't get in the video lessons. So head over to my Patreon, become a $15 a month supporter today at patreon.com/Creative Guitar Studio. And guys, if you want to help support the channel even further, check out our Teespring store. The link is located inside the top pinned comment below. The store has all kinds of great guitar designs on t-shirts, sweaters, bags, hats, and coffee cups. All the designs and the prints are top quality. In fact, I'm wearing one of the shirts right now. Let me tell you, the fabrics and the prints are just fantastic. Go and check out the store, and if you're a member of the website, use your Creative Guitar Studio coupon code to get your members discount at checkout on Teespring. Now, if you found this video helpful, make sure you leave your comments and give the video a thumbs up below. And remember, if you're looking for a step-by-step guitar program that puts real tested methods into a proven guitar course, not just random YouTube videos, it's all available over at creativeguitarstudio.com. Plus, you're going to want to make sure you're seeing all my guitar lessons here on YouTube. So go and turn on those notifications, ring the bell, and subscribe to the channel. All right, guys, I'll be back here again real soon with another video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now. I have over 30 years experience teaching guitar, and I've written a well-organized step-by-step guitar course. Head over to my website at creativeguitarstudio.com and sign up for a free membership today. Join the thousands of members worldwide who have already enrolled. There's no need to learn the guitar on your own. Let me help you become the best guitar player you can be.